Like, you've been in the, how long have you been casting? You haven't even heard that. But coming up to exceL as well, we're going to go straight into picks and bans. Diabolus, Cadrill, we talked about a little bit in the pregame as well, that he's coming in as an in-game leader, and I want to see him really step up here, because Diabolus, they may make playoffs, but we have yet to see them really challenge to look like a finals or even a winner of the ESL Prem.
Yeah, and Furion now has great synergy with Larson in the mid lane. The Furion Larson was a meme that it was like he would always gank Larson, always get Larson in the head. I'm wondering whether Cadrill will have that same kind of synergy, or he'll be a bit more of a holistic jungler looking to impact almost everywhere on the map. Taxa is an incredible jungler, like a very good jungler, and you shouldn't really underrate
Plenty of highlight reels for him.
Yeah, I think Zach's going to get taken off by one of these two.
Gotta be.
I mean, Taxa's so good on Zach, and Cadrill, when he was playing jungle in the LCS, Zach was probably the jungle he looked the best on.
I can play Zach with my face, so.
Well, there you go. So I feel like if you target that, yeah, we should.
Well,
do
my nose is pointy and long enough that I can actually just press the keys like this. You know, like. That's one of the better advantages of having
the APM with your nose must be insane. Just like, it looks like a chicken just going nuts.
In high school, it used to be like, you got a big nose. Now it's like, watch me APM 40 plus with my nose on the keyboard. You know?
I'll see you at IEM Katowice.
But winning the StarCraft 2 World Championships with my nose. Like.
They don't know what to do with you in Korea. It's just they banned you from tournaments. But we have got the first pick locked in, along with the first round of bans. So we'll go through the bans very quickly. First, it's going to be Talia, Camille, Corki for the side of Diabolos, with exceL banning away the Galio, Skarner, and the Wise, with Sejuani being the first pick up for Diabolos.
Well, the Corki ban makes a lot of sense. Cremel's played very, very good Corki. Sendu, a great Camille player. Obviously, Talia's pretty much first ban in every situation. Galio actually included at all in this pick and ban phase, which is, we expect that to be the case going into this week. Obviously, last game didn't kind of live up to that expectations, but Galio ban makes a lot of sense. But Zach still left open, and Taxa could play that if he wanted to.
I'd be surprised. What else would you play? I mean, you've got Skarner off, you've got Sejuani off, and that's like the big three. So I would say
maybe?
There are obviously junglers that are good. I feel like when you're going down the order,
who you would actually
love Zach.
How good he is on that champion as well. The flanks, especially considering, we're probably harping on about it a little bit too much, but the lack of early vision now with the lack of tracker's knife means that he would be able to get more flanks off potentially.
Yeah, that's true.
They're going to have to pick their jungler on the third pick of this rotation, otherwise you ban out two junglers like Zach and like someone else, and suddenly Taxa's maybe being stretched a little bit here. But the Caitlyn Braum lock-in for exceL very early on.
Again. Yeah. People are giving over Zyrakan all day today. Well, this is the second game. But we saw it last game.
Technically, you're not wrong, right?
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Technically right, the best kind of right. Zyrakan is a really solid combo, so I like it when you pick just one of them, because then you kind of force the other team to be like, oh, do we try and break this up here? Or there's the Zach. No surprises there. But this is a pretty standard. What I like when you've got the same, so you've got jungle bot and jungle bot on both sides here. So now this opens up, okay, where do we want to put focus on here? Where do we want to squeeze the enemy team? Bearing in mind, exceL's going to have to blind pick something here.
I think Sendu is probably one of the major facets of exceL's strengths, and I think they like to try and get him onto a good matchup in the top lane. I imagine Diabolus ban Gnar.
I was going to say, you could just blind pick Gnar, so I would imagine you would at least try and make him a little bit uncomfortable, just a little bit.
I feel if you don't ban Gnar, you're banning not gifting Sendu one of his best champions.
Yeah, he almost one-tricks it at this stage, But the Cassidy banned away, as is the Victor, so we're actually seeing more of a mid-lane focus. Larson and Cremel, both very, very good mid laners in their own right, but we've both seen both of them tilt a little bit depending on the matchup they go against. So I want to see how they prioritize this.
Well, before Talia was popular, Cremel was considered a Talia one-trick. So, that's a ban against him that's going to hurt him. Victor, we saw him play very well. Even though they lost against Misfits, he was a very, very good performance on Victor. So that's going to go out the window for him. Yeah, looks like a very heavy mid-lane construct here, which makes you feel that exceL are going to want to first pick a mid-laner to ensure they have a good mid-laner.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's Orianna first pick. Yeah. Or in the second rotation here.
Or if you're on Diabolos, do you ban another mid-laner, force them to choose between the Gnar or the mid lane? That's the thing. You can blind pick. We just talked about it. You can blind pick a Gnar. So there's no like. Do you now kind of force yourself into picking the Gnar and then give over the potential Orianna?
You've lost Corki, Talia, Ryze, Victor, Azir, Kassadin. Like you're starting to really stretch the pool of mid laners at this point in time.
Eight bans, by the way, onto that mid lane out of 10.
Yeah. So I'm kind of in Foxdrop's camp. I think.
Wow.
I'm going to stop that phrase right here. I was in Foxtrap's camp thinking that Orianna with the Zac is a tried and tested combo that would work really well, but they look like they want to give exceL a good matchups into Larson here.
But what matchup was left?
Like, I mean, you don't. Yeah, I don't think you have too many bad matchups against Sion as Sion, really, and especially in the Baron of Command meta here, he builds it perfectly. I actually completely forgot. He's flying under the radar for me there. Sion.
Yeah,
it's a new patch. We kind of not expecting Sion to be kind of so high up as he is now, but yeah, Banner of Command Sion definitely works. It means he's going up into a Shen, it looks like. It's not a bad matchup for either of them, realistically.
Kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Literally. And this is kind of what I expected. Like, Vladimir is now currently sitting at what I think is the top echelon of the non-banned mid laners right now. And Vladimir is a moderately safe blind pick. Like, to actually counter a Vladimir in the mid lane, you do have to often play a risky type of champion, like an assassin all-in type thing to try and put pressure on him in the lane. So that's one of them.
Yeah. Orianna's still up. The Vigar's still up. You know, we're seeing a lot of things flexed here. I don't want to see Zoe. Put it away. Thank you.
We could see. We saw that Swain's been picked in the LCK. We could see some Swain here. I feel like exceL is best on... when you don't put exceL on the carries, we saw when it was the finals at the end of last split, exceL wasn't having the best performances and they went down 0-2 in the series and then they just stuck him on Malzahar and they reverse swept.
Yeah.
Because exceL is good on these kind of champions and you have enough going on around you that you don't need him to be the carry. So I was a bit surprised that it's Malzahar, but Malzahar traditionally very good into Vladimir, but he's obviously kind of disappeared a little bit. But
it shoves Vladimir in early, and Vladimir is not great at being shoved in early. Obviously, Vladimir's got great wave control and great wave clear as he goes on in the game, but if you can put pressure on him early with Malzahar, that's great. Plus, you combo that with any kind of extra damage, and suddenly if you can lock a Vladimir down before he pops off in a team fight or in a ganking situation, even through his pool, you're going to deal a lot of damage to him. So, yeah.
It's a very good pick into Vlad. It's just he got nerfed into Oblivion, and we haven't really seen him since. So it'll be interesting to see how it actually works out in practice.
Not only just for the mid-laning phase as well, but like the comp that Diabolus have drafted themselves means that Xayah is very much a lot of their damage, and it's a lot of eggs in that basket after the prolonged team fights where Vlad becomes huge. Malzahar ors her, she doesn't have QSS, she's dead. There's no if, buts, or maybes about it. So you eliminate that threat, those mid-game team fights go a hell of a lot better for exceL.
Yeah, I think both of them are in that same kind of camp where you have limited damage sources coming out. Like, you've only got 2 threats really on both teams, right? So you've got the Vladimir, who I would argue is a way better team fight presence than a Malzahar. Like in terms of outright team fight damage, like Vladimir is going to be far more impactful in a team fight situation. So you would expect that both teams can go to a 1-3-1 here. Both teams have got the potential to move into a 1-3-1. exceL probably want to avoid team fighting in the later stages of the game more so than you would expect a Diabolus want to. So, you know, you maybe exceL try to push down towards a heavy Banner of Command style 1-3-1 play here. Malzahar pushes lanes into Vladimir, keeps it in a 1v1 matchup. Sion uses Banner of Command, pushes into the Shen, keeps that in a 1v1 matchup, and then you just have that little mid lane thing, whatever, going on with the rest of the members. Because I think if you come to a straight up team fight situation here, I would favor Diabolus just because of the composition that they've built. Like, it's just better, easier, and often ease of sort of, I guess, Execution, that's the word I'm looking. I was about to say another word. I was about to say another word. Another word that I'm not going to use because it's sexual innuendo. But yeah, ease of execution is often very important to how you can pull off a team fight. So yeah.
Yeah, I would. Sorry to interrupt.
No, go for it.
What I'm really interested to see is if exceL gets a lead, and I feel like exceL might not be better individually talented to Diabolus, in my personal opinion, but I feel like they're playing like a better team. And if exceL use that team cohesion to get a lead in the early game, there is so much force on exceL's comp. Like, Sion ults in, Zac jumps in, Rakan, one of the best engagers. Yeah, even a Mal's Flash R is pretty solid as well. Like, I want to see if exceL can just grab exceL, Diabolus by the scruff of their neck, like, do they really just give it to him? And especially with Banner of Command meta as well, I really want to see if exceL can do that, because I think if this game opens up for them, it could just bam, that's that.
I think building on Foxdrop's point there, which I think is completely accurate, they have a sort of a jungler that is known to be super high pressure in the early game. Like Taxa is really good at controlling the pace of the early game. He's often great global objective control. He's often pretty good in ganks as well. They have got great teamfight forcing and sort of dive forcing composition. Like they can go to a turret and they can have multiple ways to force the issue under a turret. Zakit ulti in, Malzahar ultimate, Braum ultimate and concussive blows. So lots of different ways to force the issue if exceL want to. So that's definitely something that we could see from exceL. But I just think the later this goes, and if they get forced into these messy teamfight situations, I would be favoring Diabolus. But exceL can play away from that, right? They can play away from that, but they just need to not get dragged into the kind of situation that I think the last game that we saw, Hyperion and Razor Governors, where they were kind of getting forced into these teamfight situations. Yeah. Luckily, Hyperion got to a point where they were playing it really well. They had a really good teamfight composition in general. But if exceL get dragged into full-on teamfights in the late game versus a Vladimir and a Xayah, and you've only got a Malzahar and a Caitlyn who are very single-target focused, it's going to be AoE damage versus single-target damage, and especially if you've got big, beefy frontline like Shen and Sejuani, you'd be favouring that on the side of Diabolus.
A quick one, then, on the spot again. Diabolus or exceL? Which one are we going for? Very quickly, because we're going to go to the game.
Fine, I'll go Diabolus then, just to be
All right, we got our 2 predictions in. As ladies and gentlemen, we are onto the riff for game 2 of the day. Diabolus on the blue side and exceL on the red. Let's see how this one all falls out. Falls out.
I reckon it could be interesting to see the old exceL here in action. Let's see what he can do, because he did role swap into...
Does he still have it?
Well, this is the thing. You would argue that he wasn't really the best at jungle when it was in the LCS, but that's the highest form of competition. And here in the UK Prem, or sorry, the ESL Prem, we are just a little smidgen down from the highest tier of competition.
Thank you for the correction, by the way. I appreciate that.
It's a habit. But we're not quite the LCS levels of, So, exceL, are you good enough? That's my question, mate. Are you good enough? And if you are, that's nice. But if you're not, this is going to be a bit of a tricky game. And it's always, to be fair, it's always difficult. You've got that pressure coming into you, especially when you're the new member of a team and you're replacing a pretty significant part of the puzzle before with Furion.
But not only that, you're coming in as the alleged gel to bring this team together. You have a lot of pressure.
There's high expectations. There's high expectations, and you've got to deliver. And exceL is no slouch. It's not like you've gone in against like a 0-4 team to try and beat or anything like that. You've come in against one of the better teams in the whole Prem. So.
Yeah, and to anyone who's wondering at home, there was a mid-season transfer window opened for all teams in the ESL UK and Ireland Premiership, and we saw exceL being picked up by Diabolus, so hence why he's now on the team, just in case someone missed our little intro.
Yes. exceL not making any changes though. They're happy with what they got.
Yeah, you got to keep the faith.
Yeah. Keep the synergy. There's always arguments against that. Do you just replace players? Is it? Does that bring in their own problems with synergy and stuff like that? That happens a lot. I mean, even arguably, TSM, probably the biggest well-known esports organization, certainly in League of Legends, they imported, I know that may sound shocking, hold that, the NALCS imported some EU players. But they imported arguably the best lane, bot lane, if I can get my words out, in all of Europe, in Sven and Mythi.
Yeah, arguably one top 3 in the world. Arguably,
well, that's a strong argument, but all right.
Well,
certainly, if you want to,
I, as a TSM fanboy, was not very happy with the swap, but we'll leave it at that. But like you said, we'll have to wait and see. Can exceL make the impact that he's due to see? And it actually might be good rotation in onto Taxer. Taxer feeling the pressure already, as a Gromp just going to be, just kind of fighting between the two of them. But it's good pressure to put down onto Taxer.
Nice. What I like about it the most is that it shows confidence in exceL. He's not just chilling in his jungle, just doing his own thing. He's taking it to Taxer. He's not being scared. He's not playing scared. He's still taking it to Taxer. He's invading him here. Is he going to go for the old block? He's going to get him.
He's not flash? Quite, but someone spelled down.
Yeah, that's good. It's actually quite funny because if I'm not mistaken, almost an identical thing, what we're seeing here, happened in the LCS, where exceL was playing Zag, and I believe it was Pride from Schalke was playing, and I think it was Sejuani as well.
Yep.
And he bullied He bullied, the Sejuani Tazak bullied keDRAL in this exact matchup.
Well, he's got the pace. He's got the kind of, he does it that kind of first clear that little bit faster, so he's able to kind of know that the Zac will be taken lower and will be a little bit vulnerable. And with the Vladimir we talked about in the pregame, able to push up these waves very, very quickly and efficiently, it means he has the mid lane pressure as well. Yeah,
and exactly. So I like it. I like what he's doing, and I think this jungle matchup is an interesting one to watch because Tax is good. keDRAL's got big boots to fill, I would argue.
Is keDRAL better?
The expectation.
That's the question, Well, it's still very, very early days. Only a flash burn, so not exactly the worst thing in the world. Depends on what the team of Diabolus do with that information. That's the important part. As we see, already come up to about 5 minutes. It's been pretty standard. We're not expecting something crazy. Already a 10 CS lead, though, for Larssen over exceL. So kind of, again, a little bit to be expected. Malzahar kind of just used to be kind of like, push the wave once he gets like, that little bit of item advantage, and then kind of, press R and delete some.
I mean, he's already used 5 minion dematerializers as well. He's almost out of them. I don't really think if you're playing Malzahar, you should be stuck on your tower necessarily. I mean, Vlad, early game has really bad wave clear just purely from cooldowns, really. He's getting bullied, honestly. He's getting pushed in, and this is causing that CS differential that we're seeing in mid lane, which honestly is fairly large, really, for what it should be. And yeah, that's
I don't like what Taxer did there. It was very lazy pathing.
Yeah.
Not like showing yourself is information. It's telling where all the other lanes, where your jungler is, how ham you can go, or how far back you need to play. And knowing that, keDRAL was invading as well, like, given how, as you say, like, the apples on, the previous matchup, like, the kind of how ballsy, for lack of a better term, keDRAL was in that first instance, you've got to assume he's going to be just as coming into these kind of, 4 or 5 minutes.
I feel like Taxon knew that and was just trying to get there as fast as possible to stop him taking the chickens, but didn't realize they were basically already gone. So he was kind of sacrificing the whole... I don't care if they know I'm here, I just need to stop him taking my camp. But he was a bit too slow on that one. Here we go.
Oh, we see it. There is an ultimate available for come out, but he has no mana. And that's going to be the Hemo play coming out onto Taxer. Poor communication from the exceL mid lane and jungler. And that's going to be... Honestly, you see keDRAL on the right of your screen. He might look for this. He might look for the dive, and they are going to go for it. Oh. No flash able to be used, and that's going to be first blood to Larssen. Diabolus.
Taxer has no flash either.
Taxer needs to get the hell out of dodge, and this is... I don't understand what's going on, exceL. They've gone from this, crazy good, unit to this not really sure when to go back and on the wrong page. Yeah,
that was a... I mean, as it stood, it wasn't terrible, that first gank. I mean, it was a terrible gank, don't get me wrong, but it got the Vlad ultimate for nothing, so that's not too bad. And the fact that exceL has spellbook, so he'll have TP, so he can just get back into lane. That's not really, it's not the end of the world. But the fact that he was brought so low there, exceL was just so low, and that was a really just, that was the perfect execution there for the whole dive, because exceL still had both summons up. He had cleanse, he had flash, and he just didn't get to use any of them. I mean, it's just perfect. That is a play that you don't really expect from a mid-jungle duo who's playing their first game together.
Yeah, well, kind of more so you don't expect it to happen against a team that have been playing with each other for so long, but also that little gank, that little bit of an advantage, QSS now all ready for Larssen, so that kill potential with that ultimate just not really there. Ooh. They are trying to force something up on this top side. Taxer is here, they have 4 men stacked up, nobody in the bot lane. They're trying to just force the turret. I like this play from exceL, trying to get the macro out of there, trying to be the first ones to make the play, open up the map a little bit.
Yeah, this is a pretty interesting rotation. It's quite next level, honestly. I mean, it kind of came out of nothing, really. Yeah. They just decided to do it. I mean, that's fair enough to them, fair play to them. They almost got the tower as well. I mean, oh, that's probably just an old back to lane.
Don't worry.
I feel like the Sion into Shen matchup, Sion is known as a pretty heavy lane bully. Spam that roar, you shout minions at people, and you harass them, and you push at the same time. So very hard to deal with that lane, and Shen, Igloo had been struggling. I mean, it's been said that Igloo as the weaker link, I guess, of Diabolus as well. It makes sense to kind of play around that lane if you're trying to get advantages if you are exceL. And I think that's what the whole idea was. And it's interesting that they went for the full blown lane swap here. But now we're going to get some more. It's going to be interesting here, I guess, seeing what's going on and where people decide to go, what they decide to do, where they decide to play, because things could go down here. We're at the point where ultimates are up.
Yeah, we see Hado pushing up, will spot out Taxer with that ward. A little bit of vision it gives you at the start before it gets disabled by the control ward, but like you said, things can start to happen. We're seeing level 6s come out for pretty much everybody. exceL has the ultimate now. We have the Let's Bounce from Taxer as well, so they both have ways of getting into these fights. Just got to see where they put it. Doubt it's going to be in mid lane, as I say, most likely the top, or sorry, the solo lane of who are now bottom. Sendo, he's not going to have a fun time, especially with the items he has put together versus the ones that Shen has. I've completely forgotten the name of that item. Tiamat, that's it. Yeah. I couldn't think of it.
No, it's interesting because of the lane swap. Usually, if you want to put pressure onto bot lane, you have the advantage of it. Even if you don't get kills, if you get summoners and harass them, you can then look to go for the dragon and you at least get something. When they're in top lane, it's a bit more tricky. You can go for that herald instead, but maybe that's not what you're looking for. You know, maybe that's too difficult for you to take.
Mid lane, though, we're actually going to see a little bit of an engage. Hemo Plague and the ultimate from the Sejuani as well. Great Let's Bounce means we're going to see the Shen ult come in off this as well. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Igloo just about getting there in time to salvage something from it.
Here comes Rakan, or not?
No, Rakan not going to come in. Hado was there to try and rotate, but they don't quite get anything in there. 1-for-1, both junglers in the right place at the right time. And
are they still fighting?
I think it's
yes,
it's more handbags than anything else.
Yeah, a bit of a wet noodle on there. But this could open up the top tower. I believe in the 2v2, Caitlyn will have the advantage to take some tower harass. It's going down quite nicely here. It's very low. And that was a relatively even fight, though I would argue that with the TP being used from Sendo and only the Sound United being used from Igloo, that puts it in the favor of the Shen because he's going to have that up before the TP comes up. So still has the teleport there from the Shen. So if something happens topside, like if you're Diabolus here and you want to force something topside, it's a really good time to do it because you're going to have the reaction from your laner, from your top laner, who's now bot lane. But exceL aren't going to have the action from theirs, so you might be able to get an outnumbered fight here, and you've already got pressure in the mid lane. It's really easy for Larssen just to shove in that mid, then walk up, go up with exceL, dive, TP in if you need it. I feel like it's a pretty... There's not much counterplay from exceL if they decide to do that.
Yeah, there is. You have to be careful though. You don't want to TP in a place that's visible, and the knock-up or the ultimate come out from Sendo and stop you altogether, and
true.
Your dive just kind of collapses as you were anticipating 4 instead of 3. But as you said, it's going to be a little bit of an advantage, and advantage to the harass as well, despite the minion wave being very much in favor of Sendo. He's trying to force out the ultimate there. You could see he just wanted to try and stay in front of him, try and see if he could burn that ultimate. Not quite able to get it there, though, unfortunately. I
mean, he's staying in lane. He's not been. Sendo's not able to get the recall. He's so low here, but they're going for a dive mid. They're ganking mid.
Yeah, they are going to go for mid, and they're going to miss the ultimates again.
Oh god!
Gotta give Krumel a little bit of props there. He doesn't even. That's the thing. The beauty of our observers is they knew nothing was going to happen. They knew it was just yeah, they knew exactly what was happening, and they were like, no, there's no point. Leave it.
Taxer looks like he might lane gang top as well here. He's definitely positioned for this one. I don't know what happened mid there. I mean, he also went down, but Krumel didn't even flash. Was it just the passive shield or something? I'm still looking to see what Taxer decides to do here because. This is not an easy lane to gank, honestly. Form does help you, but they're very difficult to get onto, Hado and Smiley here.
Xayah and Rakan have a lot of ways of just getting away, especially with the ultimates and the kind of the jumps and leaps. They have so many ways, and the route as well from the Xayah. There's so many ways of stopping you from advancing while they back off. So I'm curious to see, you know, kind of if that would have ever worked, but as you see, Taxer just backs away, nothing really doing. He's now 20 CS down, though, so all this time he is losing out on that little bit of farm advantage, and exceL putting down the herd as much as he possibly can.
It's not the end of the world, though. If you're playing Zac, you're playing a tank, and you're down in CS, it's really, you know, it could be worse. It's not terrible.
Absolutely.
If he'd picked Kha'Zix and he was in this situation, it would be a lot worse, but he's not. He's just a tank, so it doesn't matter too much. We have seen the Band of Command go down onto Sign, and not only is it going down, not only has he bought it, he's used it as well. So they're going for this dragon play in the bot side. They've bannered up a minion as well. They know that the enemy AD carry and support Jiro is in top lane. So this could be a free dragon and a free tower here. And I don't know. This could be a first blood tower rush. I think it is going to be a rush. Jules left the dragon pit and he's going for the tower push as well. I think exceL, oh gosh, yeah, they got this, wow.
Wow, what a great play from exceL, just playing the map a lot better. Cajewel went back, so there was no threat of a steal. I don't know if they saw that or not. They trade the 1-for-1 in the towers, also getting first blood tower and got a mountain drake. That's just smart play.
It's very good. That was really good, really nice proactive move here, and the reactive move obviously is to go for the Rift Herald, which you pretty much are going to concede. You've got the mountain dragon, you can give up the Rift Herald. But Banner of Command, it comes through. I did see that it was on a caster minion. I don't really know how much benefit you get from using a banner on a caster minion, but...
We'll have to see
And the Shen
ults used. Don't really know if that was necessary. Here. Suppress there onto Igloo, but the rest of Diabolus are here. Let's bet he's going to be able to take in the Rakan. Nicely done by Taxer, very well timed. And that's going to be a disengage from both sides. You can see that both teams want to fight, but only on their terms.
That was like a mousetrap right there. A little bit of cheese on the Taxer, and then the little rat Haddo comes scurrying in, jumps on top of Taxer, and just gets ported into the Blooming Tower, and then has to flash out.
Yeah, Summoner's Blown.
That wasn't too bad. There's Summoner's Blown. You get the Shen ultimate as well, which is honestly a pretty big deal, I would say, especially in competitive. Having that insta... I mean, yeah, the synergy that you have in competitive is just far superior to solo queue, so having that Shen ultimate down is a pretty big deal. And exceL rotate again. And we're looking for another tower. And Taxer, this is what you've got to do. If you see your bot lane has rotated, you've got to suspect that the jungler's sniffing around as well. Because if you go with your AD carry there, or your AD carry and support, you can protect them, and you can also prep dives, especially in situations where on Diabolus' side, for example, if they had left Igloo topside and it wasn't the AD carry and support, then it would be a 3v1, and you can 100% dive that. And in solo queue, that happens a lot. If you get first blood tower bot side, you rotate top side, and then the enemy team doesn't react in time, and then you go with the jungler and you dive top lane.
Yeah, where do you think the next play is going to come from right now? Because we're seeing top side being hovered a lot. That tower is very, very low on the side of Diabolus, but we haven't really touched on it a little bit. We're seeing a 40 CS lead for the Vladimir over the Malzahar right now. That is getting really scary really quickly, and they will take this tower just pure persistence. But what can Larssen do as well? What's the win condition coming into this mid game from both sides?
Yeah, the thing with Larssen, he's not really going to be able to take that tower. The reason he's getting that CS advantage is because he's pushing in endlessly, and especially in the lower levels, you can... Malzahar sucks at CSing on the tower, so that's basically where that came from. But he's not really getting any damage onto that mid lane. I would say the big catalyst for things happening next would be, okay, we have the Rift Herald. Where do we go with that? Now that can either be trying to force a play and then using the Rift Herald afterwards, so just grouping up somewhere, maybe making a play somewhere. I mean, everything is up. All the triggers that you want to pull, they're there. The Sejuani ultimate, the teleport from Igloo, it's all there. So it might just be like grouping up, trying to get somewhere. If they put the Herald down here as well, I mean, they see that Criminal's topside has no teleport, you know, something like this, basically. But it's pretty tough, to be fair. It's pretty tough. But if the trigger does get pulled here, things will just go bam. There's a lot of damage on both sides, and things are all pretty volatile.
Yeah, you can see both sides want to fight, but they don't want to fight into the other team's advantage. They want to make sure that they are the ones getting the Sejuani ult off, not getting caught in the Zac ultimate, not getting the Xayah caught up in the Malzahar ultimate. So many different little things, and like, you know, exCoundrel said during the pregame, you know, exceL, they're a little bit afraid of that kind of like long, prolonged team fight because of the Vladimir, because of the Xayah being able to throw out so much, you know, DPS in such a wide variety versus the likes of Caitlyn and Malzahar are a very single target. So I'm curious to see where this goes. And Rift Herald's going to have to be dropped pretty damn soon. It's going to get about 30 seconds left onto it, so...
It looks like they're forcing that top side there. They might be looking to go for a dive here. They've got the Shen ultimate as well.
Oh, Shen's going to take so long to take that. Oh, as I say that, though, he has no way of blocking auto attacks either, and Igloo in a little bit of trouble. Gets Let's Bounce backwards, and Igloo may not be able to survive this. Has Flash, has got Taunt, will be able to get out of here. As I say that though, they're both diving into this. Nice happy feet there. Igloo just running rampant around. And as I say that, he does end up getting out. Rift Herald, though, used in mid lane. 4 in the mid lane means they're going to push this advantage. They're going to try and get for this up to the tier 2.
Yeah, and you pretty much have to let this one go because you can't do much about it.
Are they, though? They do get the bot lane turret, and they force the teleport, which does stop the side of Diabolus from engaging. Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair. You slap the teleport down. I figured they could maybe have gone for something there. Honestly, I mean, you have the numbers advantage. You have so much damage coming through, but to be fair, if you want to play it chill, that's cool. Maybe you could have abused the Herald a bit more there, but it's fine. I mean, you get a tower, that's what you want. Not too much is lost bot side, though you do get the tower there as well. Taxa picked that one up. But Shen survives, and he used his flash, but he survives, he's all good with that. A good reaction there from Diabolus. It's risky when the enemy team has Rift Herald. If you make a proactive play, you always have to consider that unless you're making the play onto the person who's taken the Rift Herald, that something's going to get answered somewhere, and you're on a very, very short timer. Because you know you're going to get screwed with that Rift Herald dropping down. You know something's going to happen there, so you have to be pretty careful. But as far as it goes, that could have been worse for exceL, to be fair.
Could have been a lot worse for exceL. They kind of come out with it just burning the TP, but that does mean that global advantage does go in favor of Diabolus. Dragon is live. It is only an Ocean Drake, so not the greatest coming up to 20 minutes into the game, as we see only about a 2,000 gold lead for Diabolus, which isn't a huge amount. Sendo, you are sitting in the vision of the side of Diabolus. As we say that, though, there's going to be the ultimate spurn there on top of this Sejuani. Taxer not able to quite get the ultimate back off on top of this. So much single target damage. Larson's coming in from the backside with a great Hemo Plague, and it looks like Diabolus will be able to turn this one straight back around. They pick up the 1 kill. It's not quite over yet. There's the second double kill for the Xayah. Great reaction there, and they burn everything on Sejuani, but she's just too tanky. As I say that, Kremel, what are you doing? Why did you greed? And Smiley picks that one. That could be Baron. That is going to be Baron.
That's going to be the Baron, and suddenly, just like that, this game's blown wide open. Well, wide open as in the door for Diabolus' victory has been pulled wide open.
It's now double doors.
Yeah. Man, that was... they went so hard to try and get the Sejuani there, but with the Shen ultimate as well, they like you said, blew everything there.
Yeah, don't know if they can really contest it as I say that, though. Hado taking a huge crit, and that's going to be enough to deter them. Diabolus, again, we saw this a little bit in a couple of other matches. Half pushes, half of them go onto the team to fight, half of them stay on the Baron, and they kind of just that split call just really does damage to them.
Well, that is fortunate for exceL. If Diabolus gets Baron there, that is really, really scary, especially in the meta right now with Baron, Bannon, you know, the Bannon command, Baron minion.
The Baron of Banner.
Igloo has the banner as well, so he can be the Baron of the Bannon of the Baron.
Let's have a look at this fight, though.
Just everything blown, just everything blown on the Sejuani, and that makes it so that nothing's blown on Smiley. He arrives a bit late, but he gets in here, and Larson gets in the backside as this is happening too. To be fair, Larson only hits the Malzahar with his ultimate. He kind of wanted to hit both Kayn and Malz. If he'd done that, holy crap, this would have been a completely different fight, I think. And that would have been very, very scary for exceL indeed. I don't think they would have been able to stop the Baron if that was the case. But either way, fighting a fight on two fronts when Larson is as strong as he is, he can easily take out your backline just like that. So you have to respect that, and you can't fight Larson on one side and the rest of Diabolus on the other side. When you've used all your tools as well on Sejuani, who's still kicking, yeah, it's not great.
A little bit of a kind of, misstep as well. We saw Taxer use the Let's Bounce just as he went up. We saw the suppression coming in from Malzahar, so it stopped him from being drawn back. You could have argued that they would have been able to get a lot more damage onto him there. Unfortunate there. But they don't really, apart from the gold from the kills, they don't really lose much. They actually gain an Ocean Drake from it. So it's definitely something that they can 100% kind of, reform, come back into it, make sure it doesn't happen again if you're an exceL fan. But Diabolus, they just got to make a little bit more cohesive calls with what they get after the fights.
Honestly, it kind of feels like the team play from Diabolus isn't quite there, but exceL are making them win by trying too hard to make plays themselves. And I don't really think what exceL has done, the proactive plays they've made, I've not really been a big fan of them. And it sort of happened in the bot lane when they gave up the mid priority for the Rift Herald. And it sort of happened again there when they pulled the trigger a bit too hard again. I would like to see exceL just chill out a tad. But, it's tough though, because you don't want to chill out versus the team. Like, you don't want to, but I think they need to be a bit more careful, is what I'm trying to say again.
Yeah, we see both junglers finding each other in the jungle, in their natural habitat, but looking at the two team comps though as well, given that we're kind of, exceL's team synergy versus the kind of maybe lack of on the side of Diabolus with exceL coming in, the two sides kind of negate those kind of narratives of such, because the side of Diabolus want a team fight. They want to be all together and clumped up, whereas the side of exceL, they're looking for picks, they're looking for sideline pressure, and they're looking to kind of, catch people off guard.
Yeah, definitely. They want to be able to use that Malzahar ultimate to just find someone, pick them out of position like you say, or in a team fight, if someone oversteps, you lock them down and you kill them. But on it's a bit tough because both these team comps are similar, I would argue, or they want to do similar things.
Sendo.
There's no tower there.
No tower there. Does have to use the ultimate right into the tower, but as I say that though, exceL goes a little bit too ham. Duel just going to back away from that pretty damn easily, but that's a Sion ultimate down. That's a good AoE ultimate now. No more engage available.
I wonder whether they're going to look for extra stuff here. I mean, that's an advantage, but can he use that advantage? I don't think it'll be enough for the Baron, and I'm not sure you can siege without it, but still there's the Baron, the Banner of Command minion doing its thing, pushing in bot lane.
Yeah, this meta is not going to be fun until that's hot fixed, is it?
I saw people on Twitter talking about it. I think St. Vicious was saying this, and Quickshot, they had similar thoughts where they like how 8.4 has brought the game, they like where it's taken the game, they like the fact that Green Smite isn't in the game anymore. And they like the concept of Banner of Command. They like the fact that Banner of Command means that it is harder now to just stall out and just chill and then play for late game, basically. Like when you're losing the game, just slam on the brakes and just pray for the best.
Yeah.
And the Banner of Command gives you that opportunity to end the game, basically, to have that threat to end the game. But they also think it's a little bit too much, too strong.
The way I've always seen it, I think it's exceL puts it very well from NALCS. When something in League of Legends becomes mandatory, it becomes boring very quickly. When you have a situation where you have to take a Banner of Command or you're severely behind in the plays in the late game, that's when things get a little bit silly and a little bit less fun to watch, because as much as we might all love Bob and, the many different names that has been given, I'm sure, throughout the regions of LCS, it's just a buffed up cannon minion. It's not interesting to look at.
Yeah, the only thing, it's not interesting in itself as a mechanic, but it is more interesting to actually have a way to punish teams who are trying to turtle, which I think is kind of the middle ground people want to get to. But what I think is interesting, more specifically, at least right now, before it's received any nerfs, if it even will do, which I would imagine it probably will, but as it stands right now, we're seeing champions brought into the meta who deal very well with the Banner of Command. Not only the ones who build it, but people who deal against it very well. Exactly, Syndra, who can grab the Banner minion and chuck it in and deal with it that way. Or even a Thresh who can hook it and pull it into the tower. So I think, and both those champions are more interesting to watch in my opinion when they're brought into the meta. Thresh especially, he's really fun to watch. But I don't really think it's enough to pick him personally, unless there's some kind of really weird draft you want to go with, something very unique. But either way, there is maybe that to look forward to. And good Syndra players, and EU have been very good at playing Syndra. The best Syndra players in the NALCS are the European imports, really.
Forbidden, Bjergsen,
Jensen. They're very good Syndra players, and I think a good Syndra player it's one of the more fun champions to watch. It's not fun to play against, don't get me wrong. No. That's not fun. No way. But it's more interesting to watch.
Absolutely. Well, we'll have to see if any teams really kind of push for it. We see no minion dematerializers left, though, for Krumel, so he can't even use it as a deterrent, if you like. But going to be pretty much like this for the next, I'd say 25 or even maybe 30 seconds until we get a dragon play. You'll see the side of exceL really push for that to keep them in the game. 4,000 gold in favor for Diabolus, but gold not really a huge factor in this. You've got near triple items on both AD carries, a couple of Quicksilver sashes as well. It's actually another Mountain Drake, so you'll imagine exceL, they'll really want to push for this. It would mean they'll be able to burn down that Baron very, very quickly if they decide to get an opportunity to go for it. But as well, Diabolus, they're going to want to deny that. So you can see all teams kind of pushing back, and actually Baron might be on the cards.
It feels as though exceL are assuming... Oh, he's out.
Oh, that was cool.
That was cool. It seems as though exceL were assuming that Diabolus would be going to that cannon. A very big, strong with wings, the dragon cannon.
The big winged cannon.
Yeah. it felt like they thought Diabolus were going to go for that, so they were maybe trying to sneak a Baron. That's something you have to give exceL credit for. They're very good at these macro plays. They're very good at being proactive. I would say by far exceL's been the more proactive team this game. I would say that's actually kind of been their downfall as well, personally. I think they've not... Some of the plays they've made have really...
They've definitely been to their detriment sometimes.
Yeah.
But in the moment, we see the banner of command. Why are we saying banner? Why is banner a thing? It's just so strange. But the banner of command minion was dropped into the bot lane, freeing up Shen to go towards that Mountain Drake with no real vision for exceL, so that's a very clean pickup. It does equal out the Mountain Drakes, means that both sides have fairly quick Mountain Drake taking abilities, as we're coming into scary territory for both AD carries having triple items. Rabadon's death cap finished up for Larssen, so he's going to really pack a punch if we see a fight. And you can see both sides kind of want to go for it, but they don't really want to risk losing this match, because this match could be huge in getting those playoff spots.
I'm interested to see what's going to happen with...
That was a 1300 crit. I'm hunting rabbits.
Is Krim sitting on 2 items, and Larssen's sitting on 3 plus a sash? Is Krim really that poor in comparison, or is he just sitting on like 3,000 gold? I mean, I want to know. He's
sitting on 2,000 gold, so it's not actually that far away.
Not too far, but he's pretty poor, honestly. I mean, that's going to be a big difference, because Vlad is a huge carry. However, having said that, Malzahar, any champion that can be played in the support role is okay when they don't have too much gold. So Malzahar as a champion, if you fall behind on him, you'll still be useful. I mean, just the fact that you force Larssen to delay getting damaged by 1,300 gold, you're forcing... Zaya as well has done the exact same thing. You've basically given your team 2,500 gold.
Here we go, though. It's a great engage from Diabolus. They pounce on the fact that the jungler and support, as I say that, Venzer is deleted. Cell Division will do nothing for you. Smiley picks up that one. It's a massacre. 3 kills, a guaranteed Baron, and very little that the side of exceL can do.
That is the strength of Vladimir, the scariness of Vladimir, and the worst thing about it, Venzer has both summoners, knows there's no point using them, and if that had been a group team fight, what Vlad just did to Caitlyn, that's AoE! If anyone else was standing there, they would have died as well. It's ridiculous. And you have to think at this point, exceL, I mean, they were playing, you could see by their play style that they really didn't want to fight Diabolus. The fact that they were just really nonchalant about, oh, there's a Mountain Dragon, whatever, because they didn't want to fight. They didn't want to contest it. And this is just getting a little bit too greedy, engaging huge amounts of damage coming through from XC Smiley as well. And he's prepping for the flash charges, the E, and he's dead.
Wow.
Legit just done. That didn't even get the ultimate hit off there. I mean, he hits the ulti, but he's dead before it even pops. Oh my goodness, you do not want to play versus that.
Get you a mid laner who can do both. Assassinate and team fight.
Wins lane, wins team fights, assassinates. What a legend.
What a man. What a carry. Larssen doing very, very well. And you could see as well that he had full confidence in the damage of his teammates to be able to take down the support and the jungler. He immediately pops Ghost and goes round to that size, knows that he can catch up onto the Caitlyn. And that's such a smart thing to be able to kind of do as well. You see certain players, maybe not necessarily in the Premiership, but definitely in solo queue, who just solo in on those 1-2 kills. And he makes sure that they get the most out of that play. And the most out of the next play is going to be that tier 2 in the top side. And exceL, I don't know what a lot they can do right now. There's really just not...
Where's the banner minion? There it is. The banner minion is in mid lane here. So you have to think this is going to be ridiculously hard to
exceL have to go for something.
Unless you engage. That is the defense against this. But can they do it?
Oh, there's a suppression. Zaya ultimate use. Good crit there onto Hado, but he's able to back away without any real threat.
But they're splitting everywhere. It's a 1-3-1 right here. And they survived the 3. Yep. No Baron on that one, but still.
Now we're going to see Taxer trying to go in, misses the Let's Bounce, and there's still a cannon minion pushing in. And the bot side as well, we're going to see a Baron up Banner of Command minion gonna go in. Got there in the end as turrets are starting to fall.
Every lane is gone.
exceL are struggling. They don't know how to deal with this. The pressure is too much. They cannot handle it. And I don't see them coming back in this. They have to go for a desperate engage right now, but I don't even think they can get that for themselves. As the inhibitor goes down, we're going to see the Prem ultimate come off the backside.
Gosh.
Larson is in the backside, though. They're going to trade off one kill. There's suppression, though. Onto Sejuani, it's a good start. Malzahar does go down. Larson forced to QSS right now. He may also go down.
Wow.
They get the inhibitor. They get a lot of structures. 3 turrets go in, or sorry, 3 kills go in favor of exceL. But what can they do with that? Honestly, not a lot.
But at least they don't lose the game. So there's that. You know, they defend their base and they don't lose the game.
Linings.
And that's a pretty gold. That's a golden lining right there. You don't. I'm pretty sure exceL's quite happy with not losing the game.
I would also imagine they're happy.
Just a guess. If I were going to have
just a guess that they haven't lost. But how do they come back into this? That is the question there, because yes, they got the kills they wanted to there, but they need something else. They need. Honestly, they need to have a huge mistake, in my opinion, from Diabolus, because Diabolus have played this really cleanly so far.
Yep. I would say that if you're exceL, at this point in time, you don't need anything else, because you just want to get back into the game. So if you win fights like that, you're stalling out Diabolus here. And this is one when Larson starts flanking, and I think the fight's over. But venza gets off a lot of damage. He is untouched in this fight. Larson focuses down onto krimml. He does blow krimml up. He does crazy damage to krimml. But venza left alone, the Caitlyn left alone, she has 3 items. She is significantly strong, especially if you can just have her sit there and attack people, which is exactly what she did. You have to get in onto this Caitlyn. krimml is not really the threat.
Oh, here we go. There's going to be the Sion ultimate used there onto Smiley's TP coming in off on the backside there as well. Going to be cancelled as he still has pressure on that inhibitor on the top side. There's just not a lot the side of exceL can do. There's just too much pressure, too much going on. Diabolus, they're going to run it down mid, try and get everything they can, break down every single structure. exceL, they need a miracle right now.
You have to think, I mean, you lost that last fight for Diabolus, but it's still just as hard to win the next fight if you're exceL.
Yeah, here we go. We're going to see Taxer flash in, does get the let's bounce there onto Larson. They knock him up, they kill him off, and that's actually huge for the side of exceL, as now they're starting to push in. Sendo has, Igloo has still yet to come in. Now he's coming in with the Shen ultimate, but it's going to be the Xayah going down as well. exceL are pushing with this advantage, but they haven't got that much time. They need something else to happen here. They need to kill pretty much everybody. I don't think they can chase these kills.
But again, you're stalling the game and you're clawing your way back into it. You're getting these kills, and there's something else to take. The even bigger cannon minion with wings has spawned now. You can take this Elder Dragon, and not only do you take it, you deny it from Diabolus. If Diabolus got their hands on that,
Hado, though,
how do you win?
Hado forcing back forcing the Sion to go back to defend that the inhibitor from going down. keJaWll looking for the steal. Taxer, oh, nicely played. I like that little move from there. But Shen's on the backside of this as well. There's going to be a TP coming in. 2,000 health left now onto the Elder Drake. Will we see a steal? They're going to immediately turn now onto the Shen. Igloo just taking a lot of damage. They need to not bring it down to below 1,000. Now they've got everybody away from this.
Here we go.
keJaWll, he's going to try it. Has he got the moves? He does not. No, he doesn't have enough damage. It didn't bring it down far enough. Now, actually, Elder Drake's just been keeping it alive for so long.
Oh, what? No!
What?
How?
What?
Come on.
keJaWll!
Gosh, that sucks.
What?
God.
How does he...
That was
what?
just so... That was so... just perfect for exceL, because the Elder Dragon reset.
They did everything.
It reset and put it in the perfect health bar, which was like 2.5k.
Who keeps hitting it? It resets.
So then it's imperfect. You deal with keJaWll and you're fine. You're done. You're sorted. But then...
what happened?
Then it just oh, God.
Oh, my God.
Just
2 auto attacks from venza. I'm almost certain I saw go onto it there. Brought it down to about 1,300. And then a couple of AoE spells brought it down to 1,000, and then it was just anybody's game. But
yeah,
Diabolus,
that
does feel bad. exceL, they're so close to coming back into this game. Like you said, delaying. But these little things, they're just piling up now.
That honestly is a pretty big one to lose right there, to lose the Elder Dragon. But last one with the fall. Yeah, that is tough to lose, because you're clawing your way back in and you're winning these fights, but it's so much harder to win a fight against an Elder Dragon team, and especially in the Boston 8.4, Elder Dragon is a lot more impactful now. They only have one dragon to buff it up, but still.
This is actually so risky for the side of exceL. They have to go for this Baron
If they
or they
rush
lose.
it,
but
here we go.
There's Shen in the bot side. You can see him there on your mini-map. He's going to go try end the game. They're going to take this down to about 4,000 health.
Another steal.
is here. Will he get another steal? No, he won't. It will go over to the side of exceL, but what else are they going to have at the end of this fight? Caitlyn is down. That is huge for the side of Diabolus as they're really pushing in the narrative that they want this game. They want to be able to come out with this alive. They take down 2. Super minions are in the base. They don't think there's much that exceL can do. They don't have any wave clear after without Caitlyn.
This could be the game as well. It's the worst place to fight in the Baron pit. Yes, you get the Baron, but you are so just caught in that little area. And if you're playing versus Vladimir, that's what we want. We said, who's the guy you want to get down to win the fights? It's Caitlyn. Who's the guy that goes down and they win the fights? It's Caitlyn. And this could just be the game right here.
This could be the game. We're actually going to see Taxer getting obliterated by the Xayah. Full items on her. And that is most likely going to be the game. We see all inhibitors are now down. Nexus turrets are falling. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see Diabolus take the win over exceL. exceL proving to be a pretty big factor.
He did really well. We said that jungle matchup was a